In a world where pop culture reigns supreme, with too many podcasts and unsolicited opinions, two friends brave the storm to give you just that. Room 303 presents Revenge of the Pod. With your hosts, the Mexican meat connoisseur Jason Escudero, the Puerto Rican nerd aficionado Luigi Orozco, on with the show.
Welcome!
Y saludos, amigos!
A nuestra presentación, Revenge of the Pod. As they said, I'm your host, Luigi, and this is my co-host.
Jason, what's up, everybody? Glad to have you back for a pretty good episode. We got some fun updates.
Yeah. We've got a lot of emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Sorry.
Now, let's get straight into it, Jay. How have you been? What you been up to? What you been doing?
Been pretty good, man. Trying to think about stuff that I did this past weekend. Now I'm thinking about it. Celebrated Cole's birthday. Shout out Cole. Happy 30-something birthday. You know, it was good to see him. Hung out, went out to dinner. It was fun, dude. But that's pretty much it. I saw a movie over the weekend. That was really fun. I'm getting ready to go see a Mexico game this Sunday, Copa America game. So it's going to be very important. Right now they're losing 1-0. So it's a little frustrating. But if they do lose today, all that means is they have to win on Sunday if we want to make it. So should be very interesting, man. What about you, man? What'd you do this past weekend? What you got planned? What's going on, man? What you been up to?
Just getting ready for the wedding, man. So we have been working on the in-laws' backyard for several weekends now. And today, actually, we just finished up this patio that we've been working on for quite a while. We had to do it in chunks. It took a lot of effort, but it's done. And then we cleaned out all of this stuff. We went to the landfill to clean out to throw away large items that were in the backyard, stuff that you accumulate over time that just kind of gets destroyed over time, right? Like there were some old bikes and a table that was, it had been compromised, which is too bad because it was a pretty nice table, but that's not the point. So that's what we did. Lots of cleaning, lots of getting that stuff done. And this is going to be my last week of summer school. I've got a couple days left and then 1 month off before we're back at it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for a month off to enjoy being newly married.
How was that summer school, man?
It's been all right. It's it's tough. Summer school can be a little bit tough just because the kids that are there don't want to be there, and you understand, it's summer. So
Right.
So you try to make the best of it with them. I hope they enjoyed it, and I hope they did feel a little more confident about their work. But it's been all right.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Well, I'm excited to come visit you in a couple weeks. We're gonna have a blast. I feel like not excited about that hot humidity in July. You're fucking wild, but I get it. It's your anniversary, so it's only fair. But
10 year.
I'm gonna wear this shirt, dude, and this shit's gonna be like dark brown. You know what I mean?
I advise you to, besides the wedding and maybe that Friday, tank tops. Just wear tank tops, man.
Huh?
Yeah, just be fresh.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't fit them to my old tank tops. I need to buy new ones then, I guess.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm like constantly wearing tank tops now because it's just.
I'd be sweating, bro. So you might be right. You know what I mean? Maybe some white shirts, a lot of white shirts, maybe.
I'm a tank tops and shorts kind of guy. It doesn't matter what color shirt for me.
Shorts all day, bro. Yeah.
The only thing with white shirt, you can see the sweat. I'm saying, see the sweat.
I mean, you can see the sweat in any color, to be honest.
Yeah, but white, it's immediate.
Is it really?
I would say so, yeah.
Get the nips showing. You know what I mean? Little white t-shirt contest. That's what it feels like. Yeah, actually, you're kind of right. Yeah.
But you've got some news for us, Jason. What's going on August 1st?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm excited. The trailer came out today. I don't know if you got to had a chance to see it, but we remember we talked about Batman: The Caped Crusader was supposed to be coming out on HBO Max. It got nixed, right?
Then they shut it around.
Yeah, Amazon picked it up, so it's going to be on Amazon. So it's still DC though, which I'm kind of actually excited about because Amazon has been putting out pretty fire shows lately, and they've been okay with the gory. You know, The Boys, Invincible. Was Fallout through Amazon? I can't remember if it was or not. If it was, like, I was like, all right, cool. I'm hyped. I'm glad they want it to its full extent. So pretty excited about that. Got to see the trailer. It's coming out August 1st. So
okay. I'm excited to see it, man.
It looks like it looks like the animation is like, it looks like it's doing it justice from the 90s series. Like, it looks like he's still a true detective. The characters and like the villains are still like true to themselves. I'm very excited. It looks like it's gonna be very like, you know, like it's gonna feel like a show, but like animated and like a detective show, like whodunit type of shit, right? So it looks good, dude. I'm so excited. The trailer did not disappoint me at all. I was like, okay, I think they're gonna do this show justice. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to hear that, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
that show is one of the best animated shows that's ever been made, and it's a kids show. So to watch a version of it that is completely like untethered by anything, that'd be interesting to watch.
seems like it might be a little bit darker on the darker side. So it looks very interesting. It didn't show anything bloody or anything like that, but it just looks like it's gonna be a little bit more serious. I mean, watching the animated series, if you watch it again, right? Because we haven't seen it since the 90s, but it's available on HBO Max. It's still pretty serious. Like, it's like, wow, why did we enjoy this as kids? You know what I mean?
Good show. It was well written.
Yeah, it was well written. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it pulls you in. It pulls you in. He is darkness. He is night.
I know we talked about this last again, but coming soon, Twisters coming real soon, guys. I'm excited for that.
About that one.
Dude, I'm geeking out about that one, dude. I hope it's not bad because I'm hyping everyone up because I talked about it in the last episode. Talking about it again, but just a reminder to everybody out there: Twisters coming out. Go support it.
Which reminds me, something came out today, which is June 26th of this recording. What came out today, Ethan?
Yes, sir. Came out on Hulu, or if you have Disney Plus, because Disney bought out Hulu, so you can watch it on Disney technically. The Bear season 3, dude. Yeah, it's on the bundle, right? The Bear season 3 officially came out. All episodes, I think, came out today, about an hour ago since we're recording, and you can binge watch it now if you want to.
Dang, they didn't do an episode a week type of thing?
No, dude. No, they release it all at once. They've been doing that the first and second season too.
It's just such a good show. I would have expected them to do what they did with Shogun. It's just like one a week.
I don't know, man. I think they're gonna do it all at once. I think what they did last time were 30 minutes episodes. So I'm not sure how many episodes there are gonna be, but I hope you binge it because I will be binging it this weekend. So I hope we get a chance to talk about it our next recording date.
So we've got Gabby's family reunion, and I've got a cousin in town. So probably not.
Fair enough.
But I will do my best to get it done before we record next.
Okay. I respect that. I guess try at least try so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to convince. But that's good news, man. That's one of my favorite shows on television.
Dude, a lot of good shows been coming out this year, man. Like, I've been watching hella good shows this year.
Speaking of good shows, I know you finally watched Severance. I don't know if you've talked about it on the pod. How have you liked Severance?
Yes. I had a chance to talk about it. I believe with the guys when you were away.
Have they seen?
I can't remember if I mentioned it. I don't think I mentioned it. I think I paused on it. I don't know if I talked about it last pod, but I know I feel like I did talk about it. If I didn't, my God, that show was amazing on Apple TV Plus. It came out in 2022, but I'm glad you brought it up because they just finished wrapping up filming for season 2. So I'm guessing it's getting ready to come out next year.
Or maybe later this year.
I really doubt it's going to come out this year. That I don't know. My thoughts are going to be it's going to be next year. But we just finished watching.
It may depend on how much post-production work they need to do.
Dude, the way it ended too was fucking insane, bro.
I know it leaves you like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, dude.
Adam Scott does a great job, and man, Ben Stiller is a director. Who would have known?
Right? I mean, yeah, and he helped produce it too.
He directed Tropic Thunder, but that's comedy. This is not comedy at all. Like this
very
is
sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah,
it's cool. Like, yeah, sci-fi's been pretty good lately. I mean, based off the shows that I've been watching and with Jamie too, it's a very good concept, right? For those that haven't seen it, it's people agree to have their mind wiped while they go to work. So all they can focus about is work. And by the time they clock out, they leave work and they don't remember a thing about work. And all you have to do is deal with your personal life. And then the very same day. So really you become two people at the end of the day because you don't know who you are at work versus you don't know who you are in the outside world, right? Not having to think about work, which is a very crazy concept. But like, if you think about it, I understand why people would agree to do that. So it kind of just shows you like maybe the positives or negatives about it. And it kind of goes deeper into that as far as, and that's just the quick concept of it, but it kind of goes deeper into that the more you go into the episodes, right? So Adam Scott, dude, amazing, bro. Every actor in there, honestly, did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of metaphors about how, corporate America treats employees. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a fun show to watch. I'm definitely excited for it. There's a lot of shows on Apple TV Plus to check out too. If you guys have not watched Masters of the Air, I know I talked about it on pod. I still stand by it. Check out Masters of the Air. If you've got time, you should check out. For All Mankind. For All Mankind is a good one. I personally still have not watched it, but I want to watch. I think it is called Shrinking with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. Looks like a great show to watch, and they've got so many more just on cut. They keep coming, and the names are.
I do want to talk about a few if we're going to stay on Apple TV Plus. Presumed Innocent. I talked about that one last episode with Jake Gyllenhaal. Episodes are coming out every Tuesday. That one is very, very good. It reminds me of Mayor of Easttown and The Night of, HBO's The Night of, and HBO's Mayor of Easttown, based off of like, hey, did this person actually kill this person and whatnot? That's all I'll say. Jake Gyllenhaal is doing a phenomenal job. Every actor too as well. It's very like, oh shit, this person's doing it. I was like, oh wait, did he actually do it? Or oh wait, who did this? Right? It's so good. Another one that the season finale just came out yesterday is actually Dark Matter. That one is another sci-fi series that's very reminds me of kind of a Severance, honestly. But it's within a different concept of multiple universes and and like living different worlds and like creating this whole concept and going into different type of worlds, but like in a different concept that we're not normally accustomed to. It's very good. And like this guy like is trying to get back home. Oh, dude, it's so good. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Just watch it. Season finale just came out yesterday. I think Jamie and I are in episode 5. So we got about 4 more episodes to go before the season finale. But I highly recommend it. Jennifer Connelly's in it. The main character, he's the one from Warrior. What's his name? Joe. Forgot his name. I can't remember. Let me look it up real quick. Because he is, I think you mentioned that, very underrated actor, honestly. One second here. Sorry, guys. Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton. Sorry.
Yeah.
I drew a blank. I apologize. I think he's a great underrated actor. He came out in Warrior. He came out in it. It was an A24 film. It's got a picture of a dog barking at nothing. God, what is it called? This is going to drive me crazy. I think It Comes at Night. It Comes at Night is what it's called. I'm pretty sure.
Yo, he's also in the Great Gatsby as well.
He's in The Great Gatsby. Yeah. He plays the boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend. Yeah, the asshole.
Yeah, piece of work. He plays a lot of roles. He's also, he's also in The King on Netflix with Timothée Chalamet. Plays a role in that one as well. And the man knows how to pick his roles, and he picks very good ones.
He's also in The Thing, 2011, The Thing.
I personally liked that version. Other people don't, but I liked it.
He's also in Star Wars Attack of the Clones. He's actually the uncle of Anakin.
Yep.
So there's that one.
And he reprises that role. No, he does not reprise that role.
In Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think he does.
Yeah, I thought it was a younger person that does that role. But he is the main character the protagonist in Dark Matter, correct?
Okay. Yes. Also, Alice Braga is in it. She plays one of the female characters as well. She is the main character in Queen of the South. So, and she was also in City of God, which I know you love that movie. Predators.
Cool. She was in Repo Man. I know it wasn't rated well, but I thought it was a fun movie.
I love Repo Man, bro. Don't get me started with Repo Man, bro. I fucking love that movie. Jude Law and Forrest Whitaker. Dude, I love that movie. With Jude Law and Forrest Whitaker, I love that movie. Yeah,
I thought it was great. More Apple TV titles if you guys haven't watched. Pachinko. It's about a Korean immigrant family that goes to Japan, actually. So a lot of it is in Korean. Japan, and then there's parts that are spoken in English when they are in America. There's parts when they're in America, but it's not solely based on that. Lots of good stuff to watch on there. I mean, that's just a taste, guys. That's just a taste of what you can see on Apple TV Plus. Those are some of our personal favorites. But let's move forward, Jay. Dark Matter, Presumed Innocent, but now your absolute favorite. I know that you've been excited to talk about this one. Acolyte.
I mean, we already talked about this, how I felt about it. So
that you love it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Episode 5 came out yesterday, and all I can say, it was a lot better than the 4 previous episodes. The first half was amazing. A lot of fight sequences. To me, I ended up texting the group chat exactly this. The first half, they got me. I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is cool. Then but the acting is still trash. There's still a lot of things that they can maybe still fix, but based off of Star Wars lore and Star Wars canon, they may have to do something. If not, then it makes no sense. And what really pisses Star Wars fans off, because when Clone Wars was being made, the cartoon series, between episode 2 and episode 3 of Star Wars, Anakin never runs into General Grievous ever until he sees him in episode 3. And he finally runs into him, and like General Grievous stands up, and Anakin is known to be very tall himself. So when he sees him for the very first time in episode 3, he's like, oh, General Grievous, you're a lot shorter than I expected, right? Because he had never seen him in episode 2 through the Clone Wars. So what Clone Wars did to keep that lore alive, because Clone Wars came after episode 3, right?
Yeah.
Was during the whole Clone Wars series, Anakin never runs into General Grievous, just so they can keep that one line alive.
That's a good line.
It's a very great line. And what's very upsetting, what Star Wars are kind of pissed about, it's been known on TikTok, Star Wars, everyone knows about this as well. One of the Jedi in Star Wars Clone Wars episode 2, he says, oh, we haven't seen Sith in a millennium, so over like 1,000 years, but yet we're seeing a Sith in Acolyte, and Jedi know about him. So it makes no sense, right? So people are pissed about that. They're like, you're just kind of going away from the lore. You're like, you're not even honoring like stuff that came before then. So people are really pissed. But also, it is Star Wars. There's a lot of plot holes and everything like that. So I can get that. But also, the plot's just terrible. The acting's just terrible. The way that some of the Jedi were finally able to escape from the Sith was kind of corny as fuck. It was like super corny. Like one of the main characters, she does something and like to able to escape with them. I was like, that is whack. Like literally what he just did prior to that was so badass. Like he fucking killed all these Jedi. Like it was so sick. And like for you to like escape him that way just kind of ruined it. I was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a hater.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it as corny as like the original movie's corny?
No, dude. It was like this is a little bit cornier, to be honest. I was like, what?
Oh,
like,
okay.
I don't know, man. Like, it was just like in Rogue One, like that final scene where like Darth Vader is like through that hall scene and like he looks like a fucking badass.
Yeah, that's one of the best. That's one of the best Darth Vader scenes ever. I was like, oh,
like, dude, like so picture that. Picture that scene, right? Picture that scene, and then like him at the end. He slips on a banana or some shit and like falls on his butt. And his helmet falls off, and then you see like Anakin's messed up face. Just picture that. That's kind of oh no, right? So that's exactly what happened. Also, you find out who the Sith is, which is honestly pretty predictable. Like every true Star Wars fan, not true Star Wars fans, but like people that like kind of nitpick everything, we're able to figure it out. So we were able to figure it out pretty easy. Like, or like, oh, this is the Sith. We're like, no way. It's too easy for us for it to be the Sith, right? Like this guy can't be the Sith. Turns out he was a Sith. So I don't know, man. There's overall, it was a lot better. I'm glad I stuck through it because it made me, I want to say like it again, but it made me enjoy it a little bit better. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep watching. So
does it have redeeming qualities like Halo?
Like Halo?
Yeah, you know when we saw season 1 of Halo.
Oh, Halo's way better, bro.
This is not a good show.
No, dude, yeah, Halo season 1 was like, this is not a good show, but it had some redeeming qualities. This one had no redeeming qualities until this episode. And I don't think it's enough for me to be like, all right, there needs to be a season 2. No, like, I'm like, all right, let's just finish this. Please, I don't want to see these characters ever again.
I mean, that's kind of how we felt about Halo, except we loved the game, so we were like, we'll watch season 2 because
I don't know, man. I kind of liked Halo season 1 a little bit, like because I can see where I can see where it was going, and it was kind of like this. It was kind of following the storyline. A lot of world building. It was kind of following the storyline. Like I don't expect it to be like true to the video game story, but like it kind of was true to it. Like. Obviously, we don't know much about the Master Chief. We never see him with his helmet off, so obviously they want to make him more relatable to us, right? So of course you have to kind of give him emotions because if not, he's gonna be robotic.
The helmet on more though, like season 3. Give me the helmet. Like, come on now, give me the helmet. Yeah. You need more than 2 episodes with the helmet.
But season 2 of Halo was fucking sick. So
yeah, they really.
Like
they really fixed it.
They built a lot to it, and they stopped following that one character's storyline. So maybe they do the same with Acolyte, because I don't know, man. Right now, I don't know how I'm watching it, but I'm watching it just because I want to have my own opinion. I don't want people just telling me like it's awful. I want to build my own opinion to it. But so far, like everything that I see based off online and socials, I'm agreeing with everybody. Like we all feel the same way, Yeah. I'm not that much of a hater.
Well, let's hope that how many episodes are left? This was the 5th episode, so how many more?
Yeah, I want to say there's like 3 or 4 or 5 left, if I'm not mistaken.
So if it continues to get better, how are you going to feel about it then?
I just don't know, man. It's just like the characters. I don't know, man. Like the acting's so bad that I can't. There's some characters in episodes 1 through 4 ended up dying. And I did not care for them at all that they died. At all. There's one character That actually, if they would have died, I would have been like, no. And that character was introduced episode 4.
Oh.
And it's a little dude, like a little munchkin like creature that like sniffs around, like trying to find, and it's a lovable character. Like, okay, like he's here for like, because people are like, oh, he's cute, a lovable character. If he would have died, then yes, I would have been like, what? No, but no. Everyone else that died that we're supposed to care about did not care whatsoever, dude. Like, and that's how I know. That's how I know I don't like this show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It takes a lot to get you to like a character within 1 to 2 episodes, even 3. But the good shows do it. So, all right, let's get off of what's not good and let's go into what is good. The Boys, season 4, newest episode came out today. Another episode came out, correct?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I apologize.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, we're recording on Wednesday, the 20th.
Episode from you guys who are listening, but up to this point, we know what's been going on with Starlight and why Firecracker can't stand her. We see that Butcher is trying to get Ryan back to the right side. Homelander is having a crisis of not even conscience, more of a crisis of his sense of self and trying to understand his own son because he doesn't know what it's like to be a normal person. Jason, lead us through what Homelander decides to do to get himself to understand what is going on with his son.
Yeah, so I think the way Homelander, especially in this episode, he's trying to figure out his son. Like, he's like, why doesn't my son like care about me or like me, or like, why doesn't he feel the same way I do? Like, we're like super powerful. Like, why do we even care? He's trying to show Ryan that we don't care about humans. They're like beneath us. Why should we care them? They're like ants to us, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's like starting to have panic attacks, right? Towards the end of episode 3. Punches the mirror, and he says, we need to go back home. Where's home to him? We don't know. We all the way up till until this season, till this episode, we heard about where he came from, but we don't know exactly where he grew up in. He grew up in a testing facility from the moment that he was born. He had special powers. They knew from that moment that he was like one of the most powerful soups. And he goes back to the facility where they did a lot of testing on him. And you come to find out that they weren't so nice to him based off of the testing the facility that they had him in. Where they kept him. They were trying to see what would harm him, so they would torture him to see if it would kill him, because they knew he was strong and he could take it, and like how much he can take. So it was torture to him, but like to him growing up, that's all he knew. So he saw a positive side in it, and like his like main problem is acceptance from everyone. He wants to be accepted. And like, I think from that moment, like him in the facility, and you kind of see like that whole, like, I don't know, like it felt so creepy. It felt so weird because all the scientists that were there when he came down, he brought a cake. He brings a cake and he's like, hey, I'm home. And it says home sweet home. All the scientists are like, freaked the fuck out, dude. Freaked out.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, dude. And he goes to every single scientist and he's like, hey, remember when we used to do this like back in the day? And they're like, I don't remember that. I don't remember. It was like, well, hey, let's play a game. Like let's do this. Like, or like, remember you're the one that put me in the oven to see like if my skin would burn or not. And he's like, yeah, like I was just doing my job. I know, of course you were doing your job. He's like, get in there. I want to see you get in there. Get in the oven. And he's like, no. I was like, if you don't do it, like I'm gonna kill everyone in here. So get in there. So he forces him to get in the oven. Another one.
Does he turn the oven on?
He turns the oven on, dude.
A dumb question.
Yes, dude. And there's another scientist that he goes to, and he's like, remember, I never had time to myself. You guys were constantly on me, had cameras, but there was like this one little area where a camera couldn't catch me. So, when I was a teenager, I wanted to do my thing and, pleasure myself. But one time you guys caught me, and then you guys made fun of me. And then since then, that's how I got my nickname, and you called me Squirt, right? He's like, that was a long time ago. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know any better. Again, the scientist is apologizing to him. He was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, you know what? Like everyone got to see me doing that. It's fine. You know what? But you know what would be funny? You know what would be really funny if you started to do that. Like just pull your pants out and start masturbating in front of everybody. And like the guy's like, I'm not gonna do that. It's like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna kill you. So he starts doing it. Do like a lot of torment that he did just so he can get back at them for all the torment that he caused them. Dude, it was very, and that's just Homelander's. Towards the end, he ends up killing everybody.
I'm sure.
And it finishes with the scene of him all bloody, smiling at the end because he's like, and then smiles at the end like he's kind of relieved that he just finally got to harm the people that harmed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was kind of relatable. Like, what would you do?
Yeah. No, I get it. Is there anyone that was nice to him there? No one was nice to him?
No one. Well, they were, but they weren't. They were scientists and they were treating him as a lab experiment. So there was barely any emotions.
And that's what makes it clear why he doesn't have a sense of morality.
Exactly,
right?
dude. Yeah, so you kind of see that
at a young age.
Yeah, dude. That in itself, and then you kind of get more of the Starlight Firecracker relationship. Firecracker, like she ends up going live on CNN or whatever, and Fox News, whatever the news channel is for that, revealing that Starlight actually had an abortion on live television. Like she's supposed to be the savior, yet she's killing babies, blah blah blah, and then Starlight like loses it. She sees it on live television. It was like that's like super personal to her because like she didn't want to do that, but she didn't want to tell anybody about her abortion. So she ends up flying over to Firecracker, starts beating her ass, almost kills her. But unfortunately, again, it's happening live recording, right? So now they're going to flip it against her and be like, oh, Starlight, see what she really is like. She's an evil person, blah, 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 right? Using the media to turn things against her within itself. You start seeing Butcher kind of building a relationship with Ryan and trying to make things right because he knows he's about to die. You start seeing a lot of growth within Butcher and like him realizing like everything that I did was kind of fucked up. I need to make amends with everybody, especially with Ryan because he knows he's going to leave soon. And he knows that there's still hope for Ryan, Homelander's son. So he's trying to do that. And it's beautiful the way they're portraying it.
I think that's why Butcher was giving tips on how to be a leader. Like you have to get the job done. Like he was being straightforward with M when he was talking to him in episode 2, and M just didn't really want to hear it, but he was like, "This is what you have to do. Like people will not respect you otherwise." And I was like, "Oh, it makes sense. You're dying now, so you're really given why you are the way you are a little bit."
Yeah, dude. Like it's every character is like there's a sense of growth in this episode or like turmoil. With Frenchie, he ends up admitting to his lover that he actually killed his parents and his sisters, right? His siblings. And towards the end of the episode, and Frenchie's like fighting with himself. Is like I was a terrible human being. Like he was pretty much an assassin for somebody he didn't want to be an assassin for, but he had to do it, right? As we learned in season 3. And then he finds out about it. He admits it to him finally. And it doesn't go well, of course. But I think for Frenchie's growth, I think it was the right thing to do.
And it makes room for him and Kimiko. I don't care if she says she doesn't
want him and Kimiko to end up together. Yeah.
I agree. I think they were a great couple.
And what's the other character's name? Is it Flynn? It's not Flynn.
Are we talking about
the one without the powers?
Yes. Lord, we are old men today. We cannot remember anything.
Yeah, well, and obviously, his side of the story is his dad's dying, and he Huey, yeah. So Huey actually goes to A-Train to see if he can get him some Compound V, because A-Train is starting to turn. He's starting to go on the boy side because he's like, fuck this, like this is terrible. So you're starting to see more growth in A-Train's side of the story too, which I thought was really cool. A-Train ends up getting the compound V for him. And at the end of the episode, Huey ends up injecting his dad, who's dying, with compound V because he just can't accept that his dad's going to die from a sickness. And at the end of the episode, his dad opens up with his eyes, just like, woof. So he has powers now. And that's how it ends.
That's wild,
dude. A lot of shit happened in this episode. It was really good, dude.
Did really we see any of Victoria Newman, or is she absent from this episode?
Yeah, we see a lot from her as well. So she is, the smartest person in the world. So what she actually likes to do as
that's Sister Sage. That's Sister Sage.
Sister Sage. Okay, Victoria Newman
is the vice president.
Oh yeah, no, not so much. Honestly, not so much. But we see a lot in Victoria Newman, Sister Sage. What she actually does is she actually uses a surgical equipment to damage her brain so she can be normal for a few moments. Because she doesn't like being the smartest person in the world because she knows that no one likes her and like she just feels like above everybody. So what she likes to do is damage her brain because her brain just automatically heals by itself. So for a few moments, she feels like a normal human being, and that's why she ended up hooking up with the Deep. So that's like her like doing drugs. Yeah, that's like her doing drugs, and not acting like her full self. She'll do damage to her brain so she can just feel like a regular person and feel normal and actually be happy because she's not happy. You can tell. So in this episode, Sister Sage, like Deep comes like, I don't understand, like one moment, like you hate me, the next moment you're like in love with me and stuff, like what's going on? And like she ends up telling him is like, this is what like, so my brain, like the reason why I'm so smart is my brain like develops so fast. So like, this is what I want you to do. And he's like, I don't want to do this. Like, if you do this, I'll let you put it in my ass. And he's like, all right, well, let's go. Dude, it was a funny episode, but it's crazy what people will go through, especially her. Like, you kind of start seeing like a little bit more about her side, right? Because at first we didn't really like her too much. Like, what's her angle? Now you're like, oh, she's just a regular person. She wants to be normal. Think about it, being the smartest person, being smarter than everyone in the world. Like, how would that feel, right?
That sounds extremely frustrating.
Does sound extremely fun. But that's pretty much on the episode, man. It was really good. I think you'll really enjoy it. I know I kind of ruined it a bit for you, but I think you'll.
Hey, for the viewers, I'm fine. And honestly, hearing it secondhand, I'm okay with it. But that sounds like a hell of an episode, and we definitely need to see what happens with a lot of these guys in the next one, particularly Huey's dad and Homelander. Jesus Christ.
Dude. There's a movie that you saw that I haven't seen yet that I know Jermaine actually talked about it in an episode that you were gone, but definitely would love for you to talk about it.
Imaginary Friends, starring Ryan Reynolds, co-starring John Krasinski. I do not know the name of the little girl that is the protagonist. I apologize. So I'm going to have to look her up real quick. But her name is, one moment, Kaylee Fleming, who does a very good job at being a kid who's trying so hard to be an adult. The story centers around imaginary friends who have been forgotten, would be the best way to describe it. And the emotional payoff of this film, I'd say probably in the final 45 minutes, is when you really start feeling it. If you've ever lost someone, it is going to hit very close to home. I definitely got choked up. I felt the tears welling in my eyes. They didn't drop, but they got pretty close. So it was one of those movies. I think it pairs very, very well with Inside Out 2, which we're going to talk about again right now, in the sense that it centers a lot around what it means to be an adult and what you lose when you become an adult as compared to what you were as a child. What happiness and confidence and being in touch with your imagination and the side of you that likes to be silly or just carefree. What happens to that version of you um, when you get into adulthood, and how to face that? And I think that's what makes If a beautiful film to watch. And I think it pairs really well with Inside Out 2 because of that, because it deals with very similar themes. It deals with very similar ways that adults deal with life, and how there could be better ways for us to deal with life without losing the joys that we once had as a kid. All that being said, I would rate it. I think that I'm being biased, but I think I would rate it an 8.3. Pretty good movie. Definitely would watch again. I already bought it. So yeah, 8.3, really good. Not as good as Inside Out 2, but pretty good. Like, I will watch it a lot.
Dude, I think Jermaine gave it a 10, if I'm not mistaken, or 9 something. He said that's probably his favorite movie this year. That's what he said.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't take it out of my favorites for the year. I think I'm trying to be. I overrate things very often, so I'm trying to be conservative.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm trying to be conservative.
I'm excited. I'm probably going to see that probably very, very soon now that it's in the collection. So
yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Definitely almost cried. So yeah, it was an emotional payoff. It's a lot of fun. There's me and Gabby talk about this all the time. There aren't enough live action kids movies anymore, if you've noticed. It's almost all animation. It's almost all like 3D animation, particularly. And we've kind of been missing those good films, and they're slowly starting to trickle back. We're getting a few here and there. I think this one is a really good example of what you can do with live action for kids that really everyone can enjoy.
Well, what are some good live actions that you mean that we grew up on for kids?
For kids, I mean, shoot, as kids, we had Flubber, we had Matilda, we had we had Stuart Little. I thought Stuart Little was a great movie. We had Toy Soldiers, although Toy Soldiers was PG-13, but it was aimed at kids. It was aimed at kids. Yeah, Toy Soldiers. The one where the army guys are bad and the monsters are actually good.
Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers. Oh my gosh.
That dude, have you seen that movie?
Since then, no. I hear it's not actually a very good film, but
it's rewatch that and then you're like, I don't know if I would have let my kid watch that.
It's that bad?
There's some scenes where it's just like, whoa, I don't know about that. Kristen Dunst is in it.
She is. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't watched it in quite some time, so I'd have to rewatch to see.
I did love Small Soldiers though, so I get what you're saying. And the movies that you said,
Indian in the Cupboard. I remember Indian in the Cupboard.
Good. That was really good.
Yeah. And then some that came out in the 2000s were pretty solid, like Series of Unfortunate Events, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Those were all pretty solid films. We
got Willy Wonka. That one was pretty good.
Wonka was good. That's definitely one of the new ones that I'm like, I could mess around with that movie. It's a good one to watch. Gosh, I literally just bought a few live action ones from our day, and I'm having trouble remembering the rest of them.
No, I just wanted a few examples because I'm trying to think about some that are coming out now. Because like I feel like there's a few that are out now too, like within this era, So I feel like they're out there. I get what you're saying. They're probably not as good, or maybe we just don't think they're as good because we're older now. You know what I mean?
Could be. It could be. I think it's hard to beat movies like Matilda, though. Like that really is one of the.
I mean, they did a remake of Matilda when it was a musical form, and it was Jamie likes it, but I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
No, it was fine. You're trying really hard to be nice to the movie, which I appreciate.
It's no Matilda from the 90s.
Yeah. What I will give the past few years, like I'd say the past 3 years, we've seen an uptick because we got Sonic 2. That was good.
Okay.
Sonic. We got Marcel the Shell. That was a good one.
Oh, Marcel the Shell. Yeah.
Back in the 2000s, though, I mean, again, another one, School of Rock, Nacho Libre, those were
School of
amazing.
Rock. Was not a fan of
Yeah.
Nacho Libre. I
That's
never
crazy.
watched it. So.
Oh, well, then you can't say you're not a fan, right? You got to watch it first.
Yeah,
I thought all of the Night at the Museum films were pretty good. So, I mean, I think that bringing those back and not just like a couple a year, whereas there are tons of animated films that come out in a year for kids would be nice. Because I go out of my way, like when we watch movies at lunch or during breakfast with my students, I'm like, no, we're not gonna watch a cartoon. We're gonna watch something with real people in it, so that you can watch something besides cartoons that turn you into a zombie.
The Page Master.
You know what? I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I don't know if I would like that movie. I don't remember what it's about. I just know that he goes to the library and then stuff happens. Some kind of magical stuff happens. That's all I remember. That's legitimately all I can remember. But yeah, anyway. Check out If. It is a good live action kids movie, man. That one is fantastic. I really do. If Jermaine gave it a 10, I respect it. I'm not hating. I'm not hating at all. I don't think it's as good as Inside Out 2, though. I'll say that. I will stand by that. Like, I don't think it's as good as that.
Yeah, well, speaking of Inside Out 2, I watched it. You talked about it in the last episode. So I briefly want to talk about it because, man, oh man, was that movie so good. I'm still trying to decide whether I liked Inside Out 2 or Inside Out more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Jamie said she liked Inside Out 2 more just because just with the new emotions, you kind of relate a little bit more to it.
As an adult, I think we can relate to anxiety a lot better.
A lot better. Yeah. I think I tried so hard not to cry in this movie. Yeah. Like, because it hit you, man. Like, my throat was just like, oh, God, what's going on right now? Oh, why am I feeling these emotions right now? My favorite character was Embarrassment, even though he had maybe like 2 lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Embarrassment was good. Honestly, all of the new emotions were fantastic. Jealousy was actually pretty friggin' adorable.
Envious. She was envy.
Envy, yes. Envy. Obviously, anxiety, embarrassment, ennui. It's funny because you feel that sense of boredom, right? And it's very well played out. So it was nice to see the growth and nostalgia. Nostalgia,
dude. Nostalgia was great. Oh, I remember back in the day. I was like, no, it's too soon. You need to
give us another 10 years. Nostalgia.
15 years from now, come back. it's not time yet. Just chill back. She's like, oh, okay, I'll come back. Oh,
so for me, the moments that got a lump in my throat were, I don't know if I mentioned it on pod last week, but for me, the moments that got me were Joy's realization that when you become older, you feel less joy. Life is just harder, right? Life is harder. You're not shielded from as much. You don't have that childhood just inherent joy. And her saying, like, I guess when you're older, you don't feel joy as much. That one hurt to hear because I mean it's true, right? Like,
it was definitely a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. Right, that's cry right now either.
Yeah. Right. Like when you hear it, you're like, yeah, I mean, no one says it out loud, but yeah, you don't feel it as much. And don't get me wrong, as an adult, we're not sitting here like, oh, life sucks. No, I'm a happy guy. It's just, as a kid, you don't have those worries. You don't have things that you're constantly concerned about that you have to tend to, things that have happened to you yet because you're so young that still haunt you, that still come back to you, whether it's a loss, whether it's a painful breakup, whether it's a hardship that you went through, whether it's something that, anything else that may have happened to you, you haven't experienced it yet, most likely.
Within your childhood, it kind of builds to be who you are. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just makes you who you are, right? Because Joy, to this whole time, she just wanted to make her a happy person, but like, you need all those memories, even the bad ones, to make her who she is. Especially like in the first one too, right? Like there's gonna be sadness that actually can help those moments. So they depicted it very well.
Yeah. That's
her having that panic attack, so anxiety just going crazy at the end, like it just showed it how it depicted a panic attack and an anxiety attack. I thought that was beautifully like depicted.
T,
Like, holy
yeah,
shit!
because you feel like you're frozen, like you don't know what to do, and then you see our main character in the penalty box, and she's doing the breathing. And when I have had, I mean, I'm sure many of us have had them, so I don't feel weird saying it, but when I've had an anxiety attack, it definitely felt like what was on the screen, like exactly what you see on that screen. I was like, oh yeah, that is what an anxiety attack feels like. You have to go into the breathing. You have to like calm yourself down. You're finding anything you can to just like center yourself because you don't want to lose it too much, right? So I thought that was really well done, man. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it's beautiful too. Like just seeing Riley just embarrassing herself or just like doing all these things as a teenager. Like, why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? But it's stuff. We're all normal. Like we're all human beings. We're gonna do weird stuff that embarrasses us. Stuff that makes us think like, why'd I do that? Things I could have done better. That is all true. We're all gonna feel like that. I started seeing some TikToks of like kids that saw Inside Out that were around that age that kind of came back to see Inside Out too. Like to them, I heard that like it made them bawl because like they related to Riley as a kid and then to now like how they were growing up as a teenager, and it kind of hit them it hit them a lot. So
similarly to Toy Story for certain age millennials.
Yeah, to millennials, for us, Toy Story 3 like made us like cry like a baby, and I think to Gen Zs, this is what it is to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude.
We were talking about this off pod, but I really think it's a good idea. I really think Disney should do some shorts, some Inside Out shorts with different emotions and different situations that can like help kids understand like it's okay to feel this way. This is how you deal with it, right? Like it's okay to feel anxiety. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel this. Now get yourself centered and find a positive way out of that situation, right?
That would be awesome. Yeah, like a good way to teach kids like not much therapy, but like just to know that they're not alone in feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a good way without like forcing it down your throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've got programs that we show the kids at my school. It's called Move This World. I don't personally love it. It has some positive qualities. It definitely has things that kids need to talk about and learn how to do. I just think at times can be better. I think it can be more.
If they brought up that Inside Out 2 characters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure the kids would just zone right into it. They're like, "Ooh, colors." That's. I mean, adults do that. So.
Yeah, I know we talked about this too. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say adults do this, but I think it's a really good idea, and I think it would be very extremely popular among adults and children if they did some Inside Out shorts.
Yeah. Also, I might be okay if they did an Inside Out 3. Honestly, if we see Riley growing up into her adulthood, like maybe in her late mid 20s to 30s, bring in nostalgia, right? I think it'd be good. It's crushing it in box office right now, so I don't see why Disney would be
the movie of the year already. I think, right?
Yeah, dude. Like I don't see why Disney would be like, yeah, let's not do an Inside Out 2. Like hell yeah, like if they get the story right, I think they can get it right. Just based off what they're doing, I think they can do a third one, and still have it be good and not like, oh, they overdid this. You know what I mean?
I mean, the way they did the Toy Story movies, even the fourth one, I'm not a big fan of it because it just didn't feel necessary, but it was still a good story.
Yeah, it should end the trilogies.
Yeah, it's honestly, I trust them with it. The way they did the second one, I'm like, okay, I trust you. Go ahead, Pixar. Do your thing. Do your thing. And right now it's sitting at 799 million. So
That's crazy.
it's going to cross the 800 million mark. It is well past Dune, which is the only one that's even close to it. It's going to be over 100 million more than Dune worldwide very soon. So it is crushing the box office right now. These numbers are like pre-COVID numbers, right? They're not what we're normally seeing anymore. So that says a lot about how popular Inside Out 2 is.
Yeah, well, and it just shows how much people loved the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, after you watch it, it's like through word of mouth. It's like, go watch that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, the first one is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Second one is also probably one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. So, yeah. On a side note, there are some video on demand movies that you should check out, Jason. Right now, If is in my private collection. We've got The Boy and the Heron, and we've also got Fall Guy. If you haven't watched it, also part of my private collection now.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Great Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt film. That was a rom-com action movie. I watched that this weekend. I would definitely also give it somewhere around an 8.3 to 8.5.
Okay.
Super fun to watch.
I'll watch it and we can talk about it. What about do you have that Hunger Games, the new one, by chance?
No, I don't have that.
I still need to watch that one.
I also need to watch that one. Yeah, there's not enough time in the day to get all of these things watched, but we're getting as many as we can for you guys. You got anything else for us, Jason, before we sign off?
House of Dragon, episode 2.
Oh, good one.
We need to talk about that. We'll keep it nice and short. What a banger of an episode, dude. I think House of Dragon is just, we're gonna keep continuing getting banger of episodes, man. They're not missing right now. They can't.
I'll say one thing before I start hating on Kristen Cole. I'll give hate to someone else as well. Damon is a man-child, bro. Didn't want to take any responsibility for his actions. He's just like, nah. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, dude, fuck Damon, bro.
I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you?
Also, to the listeners out there, I don't know if I said in this last episode, I can't say I'm team green because that's a lie. I'm probably team black, but I am team Allison. I loved Allison. Everything I was like, I always had an excuse for her. I'm like, you don't know what she's like. Everything, something happened. I would be like, hey, this is what happened. Like, like she's just going through this. She was doing what her dad was telling her. She's going through this. Like, she wants what's better for herself and her kids. I could not defend her when she walks in to her son's Aegon, right? Because throughout this whole episode, we're seeing him pissed and he wants nothing but revenge and he's angry and he's making all the wrong choices. And we're like, God damn, this guy's, you kind of feel for him a little bit, but at the same time, like, why, dude? Like, this is not necessary.
Aegon's never been a smart guy. You know what I mean? He's not a leader. He's not a leader.
Yeah, dude, and like he's mad and like
sorry for him, honestly.
Yeah, and you don't agree with him, but you kind of feel for him, and like it's all a show. Like he's just mad, and like everyone thinks like, oh, like, but deep down, dude, he is vulnerable. And that moment where she walks into his room and like he's crying, like by himself, like he finally has a moment to himself where he breaks down and like his son died, right? Obviously, he got beheaded, and he knows like he's not a good king, and like he just breaks down emotionally, like, I can't do this. In that moment, you feel for him. And what does fucking Allison do? Sees him, all right, because he has his back turned to her, doesn't notice, and walks away. Yeah. You can't be there for your son. Like, you're the one that put him in this situation. You wanted him to be the king, like, because you didn't trust Rhaenyra. And then what do you go do? What do you go do? You go smash Papas with fucking Sir Crispy Cole, bro. Whatever, this little punk ass bitch.
Yeah, so the way I read that, I mean, I like that you brought that up because I didn't read the scene the same way, and I see your point. when I saw it, I was like, oh, she's leaving him to like grieve on his own.
No, man.
And I thought the same thing. I was like, why didn't she comfort him? I was like, maybe
That's what pissed me off. I can't defend. He's like, you're the one that put him in this situation. Like, fuck you. How dare you? And you're just gonna leave him?
To go sleep with a man that she probably doesn't love, that she's only sleeping with because she feels like she's got power and getting back at Rhaenyra in a way, which he's also doing the same. Like, I'm like, you guys are both, I don't know. Like, he's just,
too. Like, he's like
he was mad at Rhaenyra for not wanting to be with him because he broke his oath. But here he is breaking his oath to the point where a child gets murdered because he's not on his post because he's going to get busy.
And like, making himself, and then like fucking, and he knows it too. He was in the wrong, and like fucking going to Arik and telling him is like, where were you when he fucking died, and like just putting like all his guilt onto him, and then forcing him to go, and then forcing him to go kill Rhaenyra because his twin brother, right?
How close he got. He got so damn close. I was like, dang. The only reason was what's her name? The White Worm.
And the only reason that happened too was because Rhaenyra let her go too. It's like, if I can befriend her, I can make her trust me. So I'm gonna go warn her.
Yeah, I think she made the right choice. I think that duel, it's apparently very famous in Game of Thrones lore, in Westeros lore. It is one of the most important duels in the history of Westeros, apparently. It is famed, and it did not disappoint. I thought it was a great duel. It was heartbreaking. It was well fought. And geez, the ending of it, just watching him kill himself because he knew he just killed his own brother that he loved, was...
Yeah, he's like, I disgrace you. Like, he's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's tough. Like, how would you feel like killing your own twin brother, person that you grew up with in your life, and him saying to him right before he kills him, like, I love you. He didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's such a beautiful scene, man.
That was
heartbreaking too.
Rough. Yeah, it was a rough one to watch, and the entire funeral procession was disgusting.
Yeah, Helena having to go after her son just got beheaded, and they stitched the son's head back again. And like having it to view in public, I understand where Otto is coming from.
Yeah, the political part of it, I understand, but that's what made it so disgusting. You're like, Jesus, you're using everyone, and then he ends up not being the Hand anymore, and Sir Criston Cole ends up being the Hand. What an idiot! What an idiot! Aegon is such an idiot,
dude. You kind of we kind of like Otto there at the end, though, right?
I mean, somebody needed to tell Aegon, right? Somebody.
We kind of like him because he, like, in that moment, like, there's a moment in that scene where Aegon's like, you're not the Hand anymore. And like, he looks at his grandson, right? Aegon, the king. And there's a moment in his face, in Otto's face, great acting, by the way, where he's like, for a second, like, you see it in his face, he's like, I should have just let Rhaenyra be queen. I fucked up.
Yeah. I think Rhaenyra would have been a good, like, without anyone contesting her, I think she would have been a great queen.
And he would have still been, and he still would have been the Hand, probably.
Yeah, and she has the right kind of head. She understands how to be diplomatic as well as knowing when to be heavy-fisted, which is not, you shouldn't do it often. The actor's name is Rhys Ifans. I hope I said his name right. I think he's Scottish or Welsh. I don't want to make stuff up, but
who knows, bro? Who knows?
He's an upper northern Brit. That I'm fairly certain of. He's Welsh. There we go.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, great acting from that guy. I enjoyed him in Amazing Spider-Man when he was the Lizard. So I definitely enjoyed watching him as Otto Hightower. I think we're going to see definitely more of him in a different light now that he sees that his grandson is probably not at all fit for the throne, especially now that his eldest son has just died. I want to know what happens with Helena, because she knew about the rats. You know, she knew about blood and cheese.
She has some psychic powers.
Yeah. No, she has visions, right? She
Yeah.
has premonitions. So we're gonna see what else she gives us hints to. Every time she speaks, I'm gonna be like, okay, what am I trying to look out for now? What am I trying to look out for?
Also, I can't remember. Do they mention Daron? That's in the Hightower house land. I forgot what it was called. But did they mention that in this episode?
Daron, who's
Darren is actually Aegon and Aemon's brother. No. I can't remember. I could be wrong. It might have been a TikTok, but it's just based off the books and stuff like that. Yeah, it's Aegon's other son, if I'm not mistaken. Aegon actually has 3 sons, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have some spoilers because Game of Thrones has told us many things about this exact war.
Yeah.
So we know that those boys may come into play very, very like in prominent ways.
Are we gonna time jump? Like, well, what's going on? Like,
I think after the season we might time jump after the season. I'm not sure how far, and depending on what happens in this season, but there may be a time jump depending on the events of the season. What I want to see, and I'm pretty sure is going to happen, is the duel between Daemon and Aemond. Like that's going to
see that, bro. I want Aemond to fuck Daemon up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Aemond is probably the more likable at this point. I don't like Aemond. It's hard to. I know he's young, but he did kill a small child. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened. You know, it happened.
An eye for an eye.
Okay, it was an eye for an entire life. You know, like that's not the same. It's not the same.
He got teased when he was a kid. The whole pig situation, bro.
I can't tell if you're messing with me or not.
I feel for Aemond, dude. I feel for Aemond, bro.
I don't know. I wouldn't kill people because I got made fun of. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Aemond does feel bad because he realized that the blood and cheese actually went through his corridor because he saw that his money was missing. So I think, and where was he? He was over there sleeping with a mother figure or whatever because he never got love from his mom. Seems like.
Yeah, I don't want to body shame or anything, but I think that actor needs to get some healthier habits.
Yeah,
he needs some healthier habits. You know what I mean? Like, I have a family member who works on that, and it's hard to. Some people find it hard to keep weight, and if that's the case, hopefully, he works on that.
There was a meme of like how Aemond looks like when he was. It looked like a little dead body, right?
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's concerning to me, so I'm a little concerned for that guy. But anyway, great episode. Can't wait to see what happens next, man. It's been wild already. They just really they're pushing forward much faster than Game of Thrones ever did. That's for sure.
Yeah, they have not missed whatsoever, and I love it.
All right, that's it for me, Jason.
Yeah, that's it for me as well. Mexico lost today, so it's a must-win on Sunday. So that makes it even better for me. The Copa America match. If they win, it will be tragic if they lose. So either I'll be happy next week or I'll be very upset.
Who are they playing?
They're going to play Ecuador.
Viva Mexico. Viva Mexico.
There you go, man.
All right. We love you. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week for another episode of Revenge of the Pod. Peace out, guys.